The Book of Self-Defense, Chapter 1, of Crossbows and Confusion. And it came to pass in the province of Ontario that a man entered the dwelling of his neighbor, bearing a crossbow. And the householder beheld him, and his heart was divided. For the law permitted him to defend himself. For the statutes of the dominion spake thus, Thou mayest resist, but not with passion. And the intruder, bold as Goliath, mocked, saying, Thy laws protect me. For if thou smitest too strongly, thou shalt be judged more wicked than I. Thus was the land filled with dread, not of invaders, but of prosecutors. Chapter 2. The Gospel of Hockey Sticks. And the people cried, saying, Is not the hockey stick our staff and our rod? But the scribes of the court answered, Nay, for a stick wielded in anger is grievous assault. And the people protested, Shall we not at least poke-check the thief? And the magistrates replied, Thou mayest poke, but not check. Thou mayest tap, but not slap. And the people sighed, for they discerned that the stick was mighty in the arena, yet feeble in the court. Chapter 3. The Parable of the Tim Hortons Mug. And it came to pass that a householder, finding himself beset by a stranger, lifted high his vessel of Tim Hortons, full to the brim with double-double. He raised it as a weapon of ceramic justice, but the judge rebuked him, saying, This cup is too weighty. And the people laughed not, for it was no jest, but the law. Chapter 4. The Trial of Reasonable Force. And the lawyers assembled in great multitude, descending upon the case as ravens upon carrion. Each spake in parables of reasonable force, yet none could agree upon its measure. One said, It is the open hand, gentle as a mother's rebuke. Another said, It is the shove that barely unsettles, yet does not bruise. A third, bolder than the rest, declared, Nay, it is the hockey stick, swung with half its might. Thus the case dragged on without end, and the people knew that to survive a burglar was easier than to survive a courtroom. Chapter 5. The Psalm of the Apology. And it was written that he who striketh in self-defense must first utter the holy words, Sorry, I mean no offense in resisting thy trespass. For the Canadian tongue is sharpened not with curses, but with apologies. And oftentimes the burglar, hearing such meekness, grew ashamed, and departed with but half the loot. Thus the apology became shield and sword alike. And the people marveled that sorry could save where force could not. Chapter 6. The Scroll of Paperwork. And after the quarrel was ended, the true battle began. The battle of forms. The people filled reports in triplicate and affidavits without number. They swore oaths before clerks and commissioners of oaths. Their backs were bent, not from combat, but from bureaucracy. And lo, their lawyers grew fat on billable hours, while the householders grew thin from waiting. And it was revealed that in Canada, the pen is mightier than the sword, but only because it writes the invoices. Chapter 7. Revelation of the Lawyer. And I beheld the great throne of justice, and upon it sat not Solomon, but a clerk with a docket. And beside him stood lawyers in endless procession, each with a bill in his hand and a smile upon his lips. And the judge proclaimed, Lo, justice is blind. Aye, blind, deaf, and slow of speech, yet never free of charge.